So, to the long list of things that can help you fight depression, I would like to add birding to the list. Hi, my name is Matt Hirschberger. I'm a writer who writes about books and politics and nature, all during what feels like the apocalypse. I'm also a person who has been struggling on and off with depression for around 8 or 9 years. Like a lot of people, along with sourdough and things like that, I got into birds during the pandemic, and it became a thing where it was just something I could do walking outside with all the parks closed when my kid was running around. So I downloaded all of the bird apps, the Merlin Bird ID, iNaturalist, and the eBird, so I could start, figuring out different birds in my neighborhood, just as something that I could connect with outside during, the worst parts of the shutdown. So it's now been 3 years since I started doing this, and we've hit a point where I've got a bunch of bird feeders, and it's now when I'm walking down the road, I can hear a call in the trees, and I know what bird it is, and I know what to look for. And my kids have started to recognize bird calls, and it's become something that I just think has really engaged me a lot more with my local environment. I live in the suburbs. It's not super exciting out here, but it's even, in this area, it adds a lot of nature to my life, and it's a lot of stuff that actually gets me out of my head. So I'll be driving down the road and I'll see something up in the trees, and I will try and tell real quick if it's a hawk or something like that. Or I live near the beach, so I'll go to the beach and I'll try and identify different ducks and those sorts of things. Birding has been something that's gotten me out of doors. We know, for example, that walking and fresh air are things that help if you struggle with depression. And for me, just going for a stroll was never enough to hold all of my attention. But having identifying birds and going on a scavenger hunt type thing, even if it's just for 20 minutes every day, has become something that has really helped me kind of pull out of my funk and get out of my head a little bit and into the world a little bit more. We know that technology and getting sucked into your phones is something that can really add to your depression, but also with a lot of these nature apps, they're actually a way of using technology to actually supplement getting you out into the world. So if birds aren't really a thing that interests you, but you do like going out into nature, there's an app called Seek, which is kind of a branch off of iNaturalist, which gives you monthly scavenger hunts for different types of things that you can go out and find. And you just hold up your phone to it, and your phone will actually identify the species for you. And then you can kind of go through your neighborhood and find all of these different things. Obviously, looking at birds isn't a substitute for therapy and medication and exercise and cutting back on alcohol and, just all of the other things that, we got to do to take care of our mental health. But if you're looking for one extra little thing to add to your day, which will help kind of lift you out a little bit, I highly recommend going out and looking at cool birds.